Mysterious, suspicious, and inexplicable. The 10 mysterious recordings that we are about to present cannot be understood even after looking at them several times. You can expect, among other things, a maid possessed by dark forces, a strange sighting in the sky, and a creature from the fairy tale world. It's going to be very exciting, so stay tuned here at Wonderlane. Let's start directly with number 10, and this curious sighting that some fishermen made in the sea when they went shark hunting. What at first looked like a floating log in the water turned out to be a deer the closer the fishermen got. Now, one might think that the deer had simply gone for a swim, but in fact this incident took place far out at the open sea, more than 8 miles away from the mainland. None of the fishermen could explain how the swimming deer got so far into the sea, but they knew that they had to help the animal. After they managed to catch the deer with a rope and bring it on board, they wrapped it in a blanket and brought it ashore. The visibly upset animal survived its sea excursion fortunately, but how it came so far out to sea still remains a mystery. We continue with number 9, and a video that made the hotel employee Nurul Baker in Singapore scream. She noticed that one of the maids in the hotel had been acting strangely for a few days and wanted to check what it was all about. So Nurul checked the security camera footage to see if the maid was working properly while there were no other employees or guests in the hallways. What she saw here was not a lazy employee, but a sight like from the horror movie The Ring. The maid was walking around in a white dress as if she was possessed by evil spirits, striking eerie poses. What was really behind this action could not be clarified, but it was suspected that the maid behaved so strangely on purpose to leave her job and return to her home country. Let's move on to number 8, and a phenomenon which has been observed again and again since the 16th century, and which, despite many attempts to explain, still remains a mystery, namely the so-called crop circles. Here, suddenly, huge circles and patterns appear in grain fields, and exactly that happened again 6 years ago in Russia, as seen by these drone images. Overnight, 6 oversized circles appeared in a wheat field, which together form a pattern and are so accurate that they could not have been created simply by the wind. The largest of the interconnected circles had a diameter of 13 meters, and while some people believe that someone was playing a joke here, others firmly believe in an extraterrestrial origin of the crop circles. On number 7 is a strange and mysterious video that went viral on the internet a few years ago and caused heated discussions. It shows an eerie figure wearing a medieval bird-like mask, as used to be worn by doctors treating plague sufferers. The person was sending out a code while doing so, and also hidden in the video footage, some viewers discovered other codes which combined resulted in the message "Kill the President," as well as the coordinates of the White House in the US. There were also brutal images hidden in the video. Therefore, suspicions quickly arose that the video must be the message of an assassin. Reporters even found out the location of the video, and it was in an old, abandoned Polish mental hospital, which didn't make the whole thing less creepy. Eventually, however, it turned out that behind the video was an artist who was merely playing a joke with this mystery. Continuing with number 6, here's a shot of a mysterious creature taken a few years ago by Alaska Bureau of Land Management employee Craig McKay. Craig was supposed to take a few photos of the Chena River to document the weather there. In the process, he discovered what later became known as the Loch Ness monster of Canada. He filmed a huge snake-like creature, which was 4 meters long, covered with ice and swimming against the current. Whether it was an oversized sturgeon, a rope, a giant eel, or actually a previously undiscovered monster could never be clarified despite all speculation. Just like Loch Ness, the creature in Craig's video remains a mystery. Now we come to number 5, and a video which was recorded 7 years ago in Atlantic City in the USA. You can see, at first completely unspectacular, an aeroplane which pulls a banner behind itself. But what astonished the filmer of the video and his companion more and more from second to second is that the aeroplane seems to stand still in the air. Unlike helicopters, aeroplanes can't actually stand still in the air. They have to fly to avoid crashing. But the plane here seemed to completely defy the laws of physics for about a minute until it finally flew on. On number 4 is the apparent visit of the house elf Dobby from Harry Potter to our Muggle world. 2 years ago, US citizen Vivian Gomez made a discovery on her surveillance camera footage that she had to share with the internet. She saw a creature running around in the driveway of her property that actually looked like Dobby. Vivian Ian posted the shot online and wrote that she was dying to find out what the heck it was. Although the internet debated everything from Dobby being a skinny kid with pants on his head, a ghost, an alien, or a fake, it was never cleared up what the security camera had actually captured here. Experts confirmed that the video footage was not manipulated. Continuing with number 3, here's a curious scene that took place in a subway station in Moscow, Russia. A mysterious woman wearing sunglasses, a headscarf, and a long black coat walked along the edge of the platform towards the station's surveillance camera. She briefly glanced to the side and then quickly lifted her coat several times. The woman then covered herself again and quickly walked away. Who the woman was and what attempted her to do this action could not be clarified until this day. In the Russian media, the story of the mysterious lady in the Moscow subway station went viral very quickly. On number 2 is a shot of a mysterious animal that lives so deep in the sea that it has almost never been filmed before. To be more precise, there are only 4 shots in total of this creature living in complete darkness, and this video footage taken in 2007 off the Gulf of Mexico is the most impressive one. The animal that can be seen here, over 7 meters long, is called Magnapina and is an extremely rare species within the order of the squid. Magnapina not only looks like a creature from another world, but in principle it is one. Due to its habitat in the deepest ocean, even marine scientists know nothing about the animal with the large fins and the huge long arms. Let's move on to number 1, and an eerie video recording that a surveillance camera captured 14 years ago in front of a courthouse in Santa Fe, New Mexico. What you see here is a glowing light apparition that moves from top to bottom through the image and seems to wander around the parking lot. The ghost, dubbed the Santa Fe Courthouse Ghost, was reported by all major media outlets in the US, and a huge discussion broke out amongst the public about whether or not there really was a ghost to be seen here. While some thought to be able to recognize a face in the video, even a medium came to work, which claimed that a whole 5 ghosts were at work here. Also, about who had returned here as a ghost, there were fast speculations. Among other things, it was assumed that it must be the ghost of killer Andy Lopez, who himself died in the courthouse. Others suggested it was the ghost of a little girl who was disturbed when the courthouse was built. Finally, Benjamin Radford, the editor of a science magazine, managed to solve the mystery. He suspected that a bug had simply walked across the lens. So, Radford obtained a total of 1,750 ladybugs and let them run over the surveillance camera again and again. When the sun finally fell on one of the beetles at a certain angle, it produced exactly the same image of a glowing creature that had previously been mistaken for a ghost. That's it with the 10 mysterious moments that were captured on camera. Well, can you think of a logical explanation for one of these clips, which can be used to explain exactly how the recording was made? Be sure to let us know in the comments. Otherwise, subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you next time here at Wonderlane.